This video is voted by my Patreon members, so thank you guys so much. If you also want to vote for what videos I make in the future, please definitely consider joining as well. I will leave a link in description. Hey guys, it's yet another video here on YouTube. So today I'm going to share with you some of the most important festivals and holidays we have here in Taiwan. So as you guys might already know, Taiwan follows for the most part the Chinese culture as well, because after all we are the Republic of China, which is why most of our festivals actually also follows the traditional Chinese festivals. So this is how I'm going to structure this video today. So the first two I'm going to share with you. Basically these are the two most iconic festivals in the Chinese culture, and in Taiwan we do celebrate them the exact same as the traditional Chinese culture, which is why if you go to another person who grew up in a Chinese household and if you ask them how they celebrated these festivals, most likely they're going to give you similar answers than what I'm going to tell you. But following by that, I also want to share with you two other festivals we have here in Taiwan that are also traditional Chinese festivals. However, in Taiwan we have developed our own customs and ways to celebrate this holiday that is only unique in Taiwan. And finally, I'm going to share with you two holidays specifically only exist in Taiwan because both of them are actually related to the history of the Republic of China. Okay, first of all, of course, we cannot talk about traditional Chinese festival without at least mentioning the Lunar New Year. So I would say that the Lunar New Year is also the absolute most important festival and holiday we have here in Taiwan. So Lunar New Year to us is very similar to Christmas to Western people. It's basically a day where you gather the whole family, including all of your relatives, and everybody just sit down and have a big dinner together. But of course, some traditional customs are very different from Christmas. First of all, the meal that we have for dinner. If you are in a religious family as I am, before you can have this meal, you first need to go through some rituals with these dishes before you can eat them. So now I'm going to show you a picture of myself when I was a kid on the day of Lunar New Year's Eve. So normally on Lunar New Year's Eve, you will need to prepare the dish that you're going to have for the big dinner way beforehand, because all of these dishes need to be presented to the god and ancestor first. So you can see in this picture behind me, there's this, we call it the family tablet shrine, and it's basically the place we worship the god and all of our ancestors. So all of these dishes, before you can eat them, you need to put them on a huge table in front of the family tablet shrine and basically present them to the god and the ancestor, as I said. And we also worship the god and the ancestor in front of all these food using this incense. So we burn this incense and hold this incense like this and bow to the god and the ancestor in front of the family tablet shrine for 3 times. And we do have a place to keep all of the burning incenses, and once most of the incenses are completely burned, we will be able to remove the dishes and reheat them if needed and start to have these food together. So we cannot just have the food, but we need to go through this ritual. And this is true not just for the Lunar New Year, but basically for every single Chinese festival that we have. Other than a big meal together, we also have a lot of fun customs that we do on this day that I know a lot of foreigners love to experience when they visit Taiwan and try it out for themselves. So first one is definitely the red envelope. So I have one here to show you. They basically look like this. And inside the red envelope, we will put some money, and usually it's the adults that will give these red envelopes to the children to wish them good luck in the following year. So you get these when you were a child, but when you grow up and start working yourself like I currently am, then you do have to start playing the role of giving out the red envelopes to your parents and your grandparents in return. So here's the picture of the first time ever I gave my parents the red envelopes on Lunar New Year. Another thing is that we would decorate our house with these, I know they're called Spring Festival couplets, but they're not always couplets because they're also one of these diamond-shaped ones that are really small, and you can basically just write a simple word on it that would attract good luck. So traditionally, it does have to be a word or a 4-word proverb that means good luck or are believed to attract good luck. But nowadays, you're really allowed to express your creativity. You can basically write anything you like on it or even draw anything you like on it. So personally, for the Lunar New Year this year, I wrote 冰淇淋 on mine, and a lot of you guys seem to like it as well. Finally, we also have this tradition to use the firecrackers on Lunar New Year because there's a story in the belief that on Lunar New Year, there's some monsters that will come out and eat people, but when people use the firecrackers and create a really loud sound, it will scare off the monster basically. So throughout the entire day during the Lunar New Year's Eve and even the first day on New Year, you would constantly hear these loud sounds of people using the firecrackers on the street. Okay, so for the next one, I chose the Ghost Festival. So there are, of course, many other equally iconic traditional Chinese festivals, but I chose this one because I feel like a lot of you guys would find this really interesting. So basically, in the Chinese belief, there's a door in between the world for us who are alive and another world for the dead. And this door is believed to open and remain open throughout the entire July in lunar calendar. And this entire month is therefore referred to as the Ghost Month. And actually right now it is also during the Ghost Month according to the lunar calendar. So during the Ghost Month we have a day dedicated specifically to the ghost from the other side. So we would prepare some food and snacks specifically for them. So as I already said earlier, in literally every single Chinese festival we would have to prepare food and snacks for the god and our ancestor and worship them. However, there are also a lot of lost spirits and maybe the spirits that nobody are worshiping, or maybe these spirits have done something terrible when they were alive and are being punished in the afterlife. So normally these are the spirits that do not get worshipped and food on regular Chinese festival. So on this day we show our generosities to them and provide them food and snacks to give them this once in a year feast, and we call this day the Ghost Festival. So the process is basically the exact same as what we would do with the god and ancestors. So we basically present all of the dishes and the snacks, and then we put it on the table with the incenses and wait for a while before we can take the food back. Okay, moving on to the festivals that have their Chinese origins, but we have developed our own unique ways of celebrating them in Taiwan. So the most iconic one is definitely the Mid-Autumn Festival. So traditionally speaking, it's a festival about the moon, the beautiful moon, and the moon cakes. So normally you would eat the moon cakes and appreciate the beauty of the moon. But for some reason, a few decades ago, it just started to become really popular in Taiwan to have barbecue on this day. And it's in fact so popular that nowadays when you think about Mid-Autumn Festival in Taiwan, the first thing that comes to your mind is definitely just barbecue and nothing else. And it's really funny to me because in the past, the Mid-Autumn Festival is supposed to paint this super aesthetic picture of the moon and also all of the beautiful traditional Chinese tales related to this day and the moon. But nowadays, nothing of that. Is just barbecue and barbecue only. So I personally find that really funny, but if you are a foreigner and you have a chance to experience this Mid-Autumn Festival in Taiwan, I definitely suggest that you also try out this barbecue tradition that we have in Taiwan. It's really interesting and you'll have a lot of fun. Next, we have the Lantern Festival, which actually happens just shortly after the Lunar New Year. So as the name suggests, on this day we would light up the lantern during the night and carry it around to have fun with everybody to celebrate it. That's traditionally speaking, of course. There are actually many versions of the stories of its origins of why we need to carry around the lantern on this day. I remember when I was a child, I've never really heard a specific story from the adults, and when I tried to look on the internet, I found at least 5 different versions of the story, so I'm not going to bother you with all of them. But anyway, the result is that on this day, people celebrate with lanterns. And Taiwan is definitely also very popular for a lot of the huge lantern exhibitions. You can see this across many cities. Also in Taipei, we have several huge ones. So now I'm also going to show you a picture that I personally took when I visited the Pingdong Park and visited the lantern exhibition during the Lantern Festival. And interestingly, specifically for this festivals, a lot of cities in Taiwan actually developed their own very unique ways of celebrating this Lantern Festival. For example, in this place, Pingxi, which is very famous for its sky lantern. So obviously, sky lantern is also a type of lantern. So on the Lantern Festival, it's also very popular for Taiwanese people to go to this place and light up the night sky along with many other people and enjoy this beautiful view. Another very interesting custom they have in this city called Taiwan. What they would do is that they would have a real person playing this role of the god, and they would go on the parade. And what would happen in this parade is basically that people would start throwing firecrackers at this person, at the person playing the god. And it obviously sounds really crazy, but the belief is basically that the god is afraid of cold, so people tries to throw firecrackers at him in hope to keep him warm. And it's also believed that this would bring good luck. So it's definitely very unique, and I even know some places where they let foreigners to personally experience playing the role of the god and have people throwing firecrackers at them. So if you're interested, you should definitely visit this place to check it out yourself and even experience it yourself. Okay, finally, the two national holidays that only exist in Taiwan. So first of all, definitely the National Day of the Republic of China, which is on October the 10th. And the date is to memorize the Wuchang Uprising, which basically marks the end of the Qing Dynasty and the beginning of the Republic of China. So after they come to Taiwan, they still keep this date as the official birthday of the Republic of China, which we celebrate annually here in Taiwan. So on this day, naturally, we would have a day off of work and school, and a lot of people would celebrate it by going to the office of the president during the midnight and watch the rising of the flag first thing in the morning. And a lot of people would also get the merch. The most famous one is the scarf. So the scarf is designed with the Republic of China flag. So I can definitely guarantee you that currently in the entire world, only Taiwan is celebrating this National Day of the Republic of China, because definitely the ROC is not recognized anywhere else in the world. So if you ever have a chance to be in Taiwan on October the 10th, I would definitely suggest that you also experience this holiday for yourself and perhaps celebrate it with some of your Taiwanese friends. So this last one is definitely more heavy than fun. It's the Memorial Day of the 228 massacre. So as you can probably already tell, this is not a festival or holiday that we celebrate for fun, but rather we have this Memorial Day to remember this dark past of Taiwan and the Republic of China basically. So if you're not familiar with the event, basically the Republic of China used to be autocratic, and basically people in Taiwan were not allowed to have freedom of speech, freedom of thoughts, and they also killed a lot of the Taiwanese people when they first came here. And the most severe event out of all of this is definitely the 228 massacre, where they killed massively a lot of people in Taiwan at the time. And following by that, Taiwan was under this long period of the White Horror period, and during the time people basically had absolute zero freedom of speech and freedom of thought, and a lot of Taiwanese people were also killed without even doing anything. So nowadays, in memory of the past and in memories of all of the victims, we have this day, February the 28th, as the official Memorial Day in Taiwan for the 228 massacre. So on this date, we have again a day off so that people remember what happened on this day in the past and do not let the history repeat itself. Okay, so that's basically all of the important festivals and holidays in Taiwan I would like to share with you today. I really hope you enjoyed it, so please leave a like if you did, and please subscribe for more Taiwan related content, and I will see you in the next video.